September 5th, 2025. This is the S&P 500 E-futures mini on the 2000 tick chart using NinjaTrader 8. This is what the chart looked like today. Kind of a carryover from yesterday. If you notice, yesterday open went sideways, had a really strong kind of steady rally, and then today it looked like it kind of continued, kind of peaked out, then flushed down. This is all-time highs, by the way. It slowly sold off, took a bounce, and then kind of went sideways, similar to this. So it looks like a mountain. There was the only economic data that came out today was around 5:30 Pacific Standard, which was a couple of things. It was the excuse me, average hourly earnings, non-farm employment change, and unemployment rate. And so that caused this drop, then spike up, and then this big drop. I'm not 100% sure why this is happening. There was stuff coming out in the news, but nothing that I could really peg to anticipate something like this. It might have just been a relief from what happened yesterday. Because if you look at what happened yesterday to what happened today, they look like they kind of closed the same place. I mean, slightly higher. It pushed up and it took it all back. There were a few trades that I saw, and I managed to take one, and it was profitable. And then there was some almost trades. Unfortunately, I don't know, I might be more conservative or not as aggressive. I didn't find any clean ways to enter this downtrend. There are almost trades, but certainly they're a little more aggressive. Maybe with more chart time, I'll probably be able to see something better than I do now and be able to have the courage to take some of these trades. But for the most part, I just kind of sat and ended up waiting for one trade that did show up. So in the pre-market, kind of rallied, looked like it was two legs down. This is where the news came out, spiked up on this orange up channel, broke, tested the highs, came back, made a second leg up, and then started to move sideways. Go ahead and zoom in. Excuse me. So it looked like it was in a trading range out in the open. Looked like there was a couple legs down, bounce up. Looked pretty choppy. So in real time, I'm thinking this is probably developing into a range. It created this possible triple test. So came down, went up, hit a clear consolidation or resistance area. There's a failed breakout. Technically, you have a first entry long, second entry long, but it looks like since you're playing range rules, you're just watching price come down. And you first see a second touch confirmation of this support area, pushes up, comes back down. I'm watching this bar closely, and it breaks below and pushes back up. So it looks like there's one touch, second attempt, third attempt, like a triple test right here. And like trying to come back down again. And here I thought there might have been triple test, except I didn't like that this is a doji. But if you waited for this signal bar, it feels a little bit better because this green down channel has tested the low, broke, tested the low. So this short and trend channel has moved down. Clearly there's some kind of support here. Looks like it's reversing. It's bottom of the range. You're expecting a push back up to the highs. I wanted this to be a better signal bar to feel more confident, or this doji bar to feel more confident. Pushes up, continues sideways. I mark this as an almost trade because you have a new low localized. First entry short, pullback. Second entry short. You have a second entry short followed by a triple test on the high side. So you could say, well, it's actually more than a triple test. You could say multiple tests, but it looks like it's testing all along this resistance. Got pushed back down. I wanted a better signal bar. The follow through also wasn't quite convincing. Pushes up. If you did take this trade, you would have survived because your exit would have been one tick above this guy. So this guy wouldn't have stopped you out and then pushed down. Prices then continue moving. There's a fail breakout here, pushes up to the high side. So first entry short. Technically, you have a second entry short here. Actually, it's a third entry short because if you actually do the technical count, there's this one tick below here. This should be the first entry short, second entry short, third entry, or you consider it a lower high. In any case, however you counted it, because I grouped this together and I said this is a first entry short, pullback, second entry short. This isn't a good signal bar, so here I'm not thinking of going short necessarily. The follow through looks okay, and it pushes down. Starts chopping. I was looking for a fail breakout and move back into this blue range, but it doesn't. It starts floating down this orange down channel. No clean second entries. All you have is a lot of first entries. Technically, you have a localized new high. First entry long, pullback. You might have a second entry long here, but it's a second entry long kind of not attached to any good price action, or just kind of contextually with the context of the prices doesn't give me much confidence to necessarily go long. So if you did try to enter here, maybe you would have scalped out and maybe you would have gotten an exit here, but it wasn't something convincing to me. It's a new low, first entry short, pullback. Here creates another second entry short, but again, like this signal bar, it's a doji. So it needed to have more body below the EMA. Right here, it's telling me indecision. This yellow down channel doesn't exist. I'm still playing off of this orange down channel. So it looks like it's a break, potentially a test of the low. First attempt down. There might be a second attempt, but I'm not 100% sure. So I just need a better signal bar. The follow through looks good. Now I'm looking for a lower high. And you don't really get a lower high, and it breaks to new lows and continues downwards. Starts chopping. So at this point, I'm thinking this orange down channel isn't adequate. So I drew this big yellow down channel. This big yellow down channel was actually a little tighter. I actually had it something closer to here at the time. Prices moved down. No clean second entries that I could take. Pushes down. So I'm still playing this yellow down channel, but then I drew this overlapping purple down channel. There's a break of the yellow down channel. I'm thinking it's going to push back in 2 legs up, maybe have a symmetrical overshoot on here, and then continue to test the low. So it actually comes up. There's only a first entry short. It's pretty nice though, because it got rejected off the EMA, but it's just a first entry. Then it creates a second entry short. I'm going to actually move this up. So when you see this in real time, you see a first entry short push back, breaks above this signal bar, flushes down. This is almost trade because it's technically going to hit the new low. Yes, this break of this purple needs to test the low, but technically this yellow might be testing a low as soon as it gets down to here. And this doesn't feel like there's enough room to scalp out before a potential bounce. So I left it alone, called it an almost trade. Price then continue moving down. Now it's dwelling quite a long time outside this yellow down channel. So that's where I actually expanded my yellow down channel to include it so it's not an overshoot. So I kind of dragged it to be something like this. So it encapsulates all this price action, not an overshoot yet, or not a breakout. Continues down, so first entry short. Technically you have a new high, localized high, first entry long, second entry long. This signal bar doesn't really tell you to go long. You get a confirmed second entry long here, but it's kind of counter trend to the overall bias of what's going on. So the only way you'd take a long would be a higher low of a clean break above the EMA. So it kind of moves sideways, and then this sets up for what I thought is another possible trade. So technically you have a new low, first entry short, but the count resets. So you have another first entry short. Now you have a second entry short. The reason I thought this is a better trade is because it actually moves one tick above, engulfs this candle. So everybody got trapped here, pushes down. EMA is still holding as a resistance. I mean, it did break and close above, but it flushed everybody out, pushes down. There's just enough to scalp for 1 point. So I thought it might have been a possible trade. You'd have to kind of take it on the engulfing. If you didn't take it on the engulfing and you took it after the close, you still would have gotten out with a quick 1 or 2 points. Prices continue moving. It's failing to touch this yellow down channel. So that's where I kind of drew a second overlapping channel here, because it looks like prices are kind of meandering inside this big yellow one. This purple one is played out. It's not important anymore. And maybe it's starting to meander inside this gray one, but I'm not too sure. There was a sideways trading range here. Prices then continue moving. EMA is holding nicely. EMA is acting really well as a resistance. So I'm only looking for reasons to go short. Continues moving down. This is the first break. This helps reinforce this channel the way it looks. It's the first break of this yellow down channel, but it's a small break. Technically, you have a new low, first entry short. It's not a good signal bar for second entry short. I want a better close. You have a confirmed second entry short after this signal bar closes, but it's too close to the lows again, so I'm a little bit weary. I'm also looking for a lower high now below the EMA, kind of a confirming that the setup's going to go. You kind of get a lower high here, but as you see it, it's pressing already, making new lows. Doesn't mean that it can't go any lower, but I'm cautious of this potential bounce point. But if you took it, it's actually more, it's a risky trade, but it's not as risky as other setups just because You're following the overall bias of the market, which is going downwards. Another break of this yellow down channel. Technically, you have a new low, first entry short. You have a second entry short confirmed right here, but this isn't a good signal bar. Prices then continue chopping sideways, pushes down, hits the high of here, started to break out, starts moving up, looks like this small correction leg, then starts moving back down. There's a lower high here, so it's a new low. Technically, you have a first entry short, second entry short, and then lower high, but I saw it more as one big leg up and then lower high. I wanted a better signal bar here, but in hindsight, after a few hours of watching, I figured I could have been more aggressive with some of these setups, except when I'm looking at this setup, and this setup in real time, I didn't know that this was going to happen. I had no solid inkling that this is going to be such a bearish day, but maybe with more chart time, seeing more days like this, I'll probably get a better intuition that these are not as scary as I thought, because I was thinking I'm going to hit, the localized low of day. The prices continue moving down. No setups. First entry short. Technically, second entry short here. Looks like it's ranging again. New high. First entry long right here, but I counted at more like a push down up first entry long here. Potentially a failed breakout of this trading range. Prices move back in, and it creates this higher low. This higher low, I thought it was a possible trade. So technically, per the count, I grouped this together, even though it's a first entry long here. I said it's a first entry long pullback, second entry long, failed breakout of this trading range, creating a higher low, decent signal bar. It closed right below this. So if I wanted to take a trade, I'd wait for a break above not just this green hammer bar, but break above this red bar. And it looked like it happened. So then continue moving up. Looks like it's moving up this orange up channel. You only have a first entry long here. Starts pushing up. Looks like it's one leg pullback, potentially a second leg. Falls short, creates a hidden second entry long here. So a new high, it's a first entry long. So actually closed here, then opens, then closes here. So technically you have a first entry long, pullback, closes here, opens a tick higher. So it's technically first entry, second entry hidden. If you went to a smaller tick chart, you probably see it a little bit cleaner. And then this is actually where it sets up for my first trade, because I actually saw it as a more clean visual first entry long, pullback, second entry long. This yellow up channel does have a break already and has tested the high. So now I'm thinking this yellow up channel may have played out, but it looked like it was a pretty clean, better fitting orange leg up pullback. So I'm expecting a potential test of the high. It's moved quite far from this low of day that I'm thinking a correction might start being in play. So when I saw this as a new high, first entry long pullback, second entry long, I didn't have this gray channel drawn yet, but I did see it bounce off the EMA with a strong push up. So I thought this could be one attempt, pullback. This could be a second attempt to test the high, even though there's a small break. But maybe the small break wasn't in consideration as a break yet. So this yellow up channel could still be looking for a test of the high. This is the first attempt. This could be the second attempt. I like that it engulfed 2 ticks below, then flushed all the way back up, engulfing this entire bad signal bar. So I entered 1 tick above this guy and got a quick 2-point scalp. Try to get a runner, so I moved it 1 tick below here, 1 tick below here. When I saw this, I didn't move it 1 tick below here yet, waited, and I saw it move down and up, put it 1 tick below this guy, came back and stopped me out. So not too bad that I was able to get some kind of runner, but I mean, didn't really run. I mean, the 2-point scalp was much stronger than the eventual runner, but I was expecting maybe another push up. Should have taken consideration that it might have been felt by a bunch of traders that the measured move has been made. Nevertheless, it was profitable. Just kind of sat back now. Prices move up. Break looks like it was one leg down. Break below the EMA. First entry long. You technically have a second entry long here by the technical count. First entry, second entry. But this isn't a very good signal bar. So when it creates a second entry long, it looks like it's about to fail, but I'm not ready to take a short yet. Pushes back up. You could say it's a visual first entry, pullback, second entry, failure. It's kind of hitting this area, what I thought was the potential support, or there's some kind of reaction by buyers right around this area, this kind of zone. So I was a little cautious, looking for a lower high now. You may consider this as a lower high. I drew this as a trend line. This is only the third touch confirmation, so I wasn't ready for a trade yet. But then it creates a new low, first entry short pullback, moved up one tick above, and then flushed down second entry short. An almost trade because I thought there could be some kind of support here. Same thing, it was also one leg down. Looks like it's two attempts, and then the second leg down. So it's like two measured legs down almost. So just sitting, watching and waiting. So localized new low, first entry short, pushes up, technically a second entry short. That's when I thought, okay, on top of this measured leg down, there could be some kind of support area here, and maybe there is a trading range here. First entry long, pull back. Technically, you have a second entry long. It looks like it has two legs down. Didn't quite hit this support area. If it did, I might have considered taking a trade, but just didn't quite do it. Kind of jumps around, pushes back down and pushes out. Potential fail breakout. It's obeying this measured leg support area. So I'm taking note of that. So first entry short, pushes up. Technically, I have a second entry short here, but this happened really big, really quickly too. It just kind of flushed down. I wasn't ready for something like this. Looking for a lower high, but I'd be wary of a lower high since I'd be selling into this potential support of this low part of the range. Kind of pushes back up. First entry long, pull back. Second entry long, it's a bad signal bar. Pushes up. I thought there was a triple test here, and I thought this is actually a possible trade. So it looks like it's this big gray trading range, but I was thinking this is starting to develop a sub trading range right here because one attempt, two attempt, third attempt, decent signal bar, engulf this one. The follow through was even better. Well, the follow through isn't as, I mean, it could have been better if it closed low. So I thought there might have been a triple test right here with potential push down to the low. Pushes down. There's multiple tests here, but the signal bar, when I see this, I'm expecting a potential bounce, but I wouldn't be surprised if it created another red bar down. So then it creates this green bar. This green bar, has this tail not been so long, I would have been a little more confident because when it pushes up to the high, it's telling me that sellers were able to push it back down close to the midpoint. So it tells me that this isn't as strong as I think it is, or as strong as I want it to be. If the signal bar was something like this, green one, or this, I think like a hammer signal bar, just something really solid with a really strong body closed near the high, then I probably would have tried to jump in on this trade. Which is up. It's obeying this sub or this smaller range right now. New low, first entry short, pull back, second entry short, bad signal bar. Potential fail breakout. Looks like it's one leg down, pull back. And it creates the second leg down. So I'm thinking and looking for a potential bounce off of here. I saw it as a visual first entry, pull back. Technically, you have two second entries here, or one second entry. First entry's long, second entry long, failure. But I saw it as one big leg, this yellow one down. First entry, pull back. I'm looking for a bounce here. Potential bounce. I don't like the follow through. I'm looking for a higher low now. And it doesn't show up. Kind of continues pushing down. So I look to the left right now, and I notice from the start of the day, there was this gigantic sell-off, kind of corresponding to the gigantic rally yesterday. And now it's just moving sideways. So I'm just extra cautious. There's a fail breakout here, so I'm not really sure if it's going to move. There's a fail breakout here. I'm not sure if it's moving down or it's going to be a breakout pullback and continue down. Excuse me. If it's a fail breakout, it'll move back into range. It creates this kind of congested price action right here. Not really sure what's going on. I do draw this as a trend line, so it doesn't exist as a channel just yet. So something really collapsed. Something like, well, it's just a line. Pushes up. That's when I actually thought, okay, maybe start to develop as a channel. So I try to fit something. Initially had it something like this. Pretty close as a touch. Pushing back down, bounces. So I'm trusting this bottom part of the channel a lot more now. So if there was a long setup, I trust it more than a short setup. Pushes up. Technically, you have a new high, first entry long pullback. You might have a second entry long, but the follow through didn't break above, so it leaves me extra cautious. Pushes up, breaking out of this potential range. Fail breakout, pushes back down. Bounce off the EMA though. Again, you have a doji, so it's a little bit congested. Creates a second entry long here, but technically it made a new high here. But I saw it was one leg down, pull back, second leg, potential second entry long on this candle. I mean, not a true second entry long because a new high was made, but it looked like it was just two legs down, ready to bounce up and through. And I thought this red line could be the top of the range because initially I was trading this blue one at the top of the range here, but it looked like it was obeying here. There's just enough for a quick scalp, but I didn't really feel like it was a solid trade, so I called it an almost trade. Hence, it's in parentheses. Prices push up, breaks out of this channel, so I'm thinking it's a failed breakout. Not ready to extend it out to make it a larger channel. First entry long, pull back. And it keeps staying outside, and it starts flushing down on this really sharp down. So it's technically a first entry long. You have a second entry long here, but it's not the cleanest. It is bouncing off of here. This breakout here had a corresponding breakout here, but no real trade. It creates this visual second entry short, first entry short right here, pull back, second entry short, potential resistance point here, fail breakout, corresponding fail breakout. Looks like it's moving back into this gray, but when it broke out, made one leg, two legs down. I'm a little confused as whether it's going to push back up or continue another leg like this red one, but it doesn't quite matter because it's quite late in the day, but I didn't even want to attempt any kind of trade. EMA is not helping at all because it's just kind of flatlining. Kind of chops and moves into the close because this is about the last 10 minutes of trading, which always gets really choppy. So kind of how I saw the charts today, I can't say I had the best grasp of all the price action that was going on, and I think I missed out on some potential opportunities. Probably this first one I'd be really careful of, but maybe the second one might have been a trade. Maybe this one because you're coming in from the low, coming in from the highs of the range. Maybe this one if the signal bar was a little bit better. Or maybe these are all potentially valid trades, just a little more aggressive than my capability at the moment because I'm just a little bit extra cautious and conservative. But next week, hopefully we get more days like this because the volume was pretty good. Volatility was so-so. I mean, if there was a better setups, it'd be nice to be able to ride this down, or at least with a runner. But overall, it wasn't too bad. Hopefully there's more days like this as we exit the summer. So hopefully that was helpful.